Thank you guys so much for being here today. We're so excited to be able to recognize our Teachers of the Year with this special luncheon. You guys are amazing and deserve the very best and so much more than we can afford, Trevor. But, just kidding. It is, you're right. But we do thank you, and we appreciate everything that you guys do every single day for our kids. We don't know what we would do without you, and so today is all about you, and we just want to recognize you for everything you do. So thank you. I'm going to give you a round. Just a few things I want to, and other people that I want to recognize. When the mill closed, they sponsored our Teacher of the Year program. So when they closed, we were, searching for someone else, and I made just one email to the WNC home team at Keller Williams, and within a day, they came back and said, yes, we will sponsor Teacher of the Year, and they upped their sponsorship. So we have Landon Stevenson from WNC Keller Williams home team, and Melissa Brees Palmer here, and a little guest. So we want to thank them for their sponsorship and stepping up and to support our teachers and our community. So thank you guys so much. And then for about 5 years now, we've had Premier Magnesia, who sponsors our Principal of the Year program. And they are again doing that, and we're so thankful for that partnership. And we have Tim Williams and Lance Dawson here from Premier Magnesia, Giles Chemical. Thank you guys so much for your support and support of our principals. So at this time, Byron's going to come up and bless the food, but someone will come to your table to tell you when to go back to get your meal, and then we will go ahead and eat, and then we will start our program.
Let us pray. God, we're just so thankful to be here today, to celebrate, to recognize, to honor, to encourage these wonderful educators. God, I just ask your blessing upon them as we embark on this new school year. And God, I just pray your hedge of protection. God, that you give them strength. God, I pray for their classrooms. I pray for those children who are in their care. And God, I pray for our schools, our school system, as we go about each day trying to do what is right by children. God, I just pray that you guide us and that you direct us. And God, I thank you for the sacrifice that all educators make to do your work in our schools, God, to love on our children as you have commanded us to do. And God, now I just ask that you bless this food, bless this time of fellowship, that we might grow stronger with one another. And God, let us have a wonderful time today celebrating these excellent people that sit in this room. We ask that you bless this food to the nourishment of our bodies. Let our bodies, hearts, and minds go into your service. In your name we pray. Amen.
I want to recognize our Teacher of the Year committee. They spend a lot of time, this committee spends a lot of time looking over the portfolios, going into the classrooms, and a lot of effort in the interviews to select our Teacher of the Year. So this year our committee was, and when I call your name, if you'll come up here, that would be great. Logan Nesbitt. Emily Burris. Casey Crook. Lisa Brown from the Board of Realtors, who was unable to be here today, and Alex Mazzarelli. I'm up here. Thank you guys so much for your time in this selection. We really appreciate that. I also want to recognize our school board members who are here today. Without their support, we couldn't do any of the things we do. So I want to thank Chairman Francis. If you'll stand when I call your name, Chairman Francis. Larry Henson. Mr. David Burnett. And Marla Morris. And Logan Nesbitt, yes. He's our board member on our Teacher of the Year committee, too. So thank you, Logan. Thank you guys for your support and all that we do. Now, I get the honor of recognizing our 22-23 Teacher of the Year. And funny enough, she retired at the end of her reign as Teacher of the Year for the second or third time for our county. And we were so blessed to have her in Haywood County Schools and just the impact that she made on students' lives over her career. So congratulations and thank you, Miss Sally Hunley.
It is so good to be here. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you, everybody who is here. Because of retirement and some other things, I did not get to do the classroom visits this year. And my heart is broken because you do amazing things in your classrooms. Emily and I were just talking about how she brought things back from elementary school classrooms that she's using in her high school classroom. But I will tell you that I still take you to work with me every day. And let me explain why. You see, I was retired for 25 days. It was very, very, very difficult for me. It was even more difficult for Ron for me to be retired for 25 days. You guys have done such amazing things. And this luncheon is always such a great reminder of how amazing you are. The thing that I know in the back of your head, though, is that you have the same thing that every teacher has, and it's two questions. Am I making a difference? And does what I do matter? Always. Oh, I did not think I was going to tear up today. Hold on. Whew. So I have swapped out my sensible shoes for steel-toed boots. I am a training manager at a manufacturing facility in Hendersonville. And what I want to share with you right now is that 30 years of you being my colleagues made all the difference in the job I'm doing now. We think first off about the kids, always. Are we making a difference to the kids? Are we changing the lives of kids? Well, I'm here standing telling you, you've changed the life for me, and I'm taking it out with me. So let me tell you a few ways that you have changed my life. The first thing that you taught me was to build relationships first. People don't care how much you know until... That was pitiful. Oh my good gracious, we can do better. People don't care how much you know until... Y'all, okay. So I am working in a place that has had a bilingual workforce that is now a Spanish-forward workforce. So one of the things that they have asked me to do is figure out ways to train in multiple languages. I speak Bent Creek, Canton, and I can polish it up every once in a while too. But what I knew was that I couldn't start training until I talked about kids and food and church and families and all those things first. So when I was sitting at lunch this past week, and a lady turned to me and said, "Sally, we have a secret tamales list. We'll put you on the secret tamales list. Decide which kind you want." I knew I was in. Right? When you make it to the tamales list, you are in. Now I can start training. The second thing that I take with me is that we are fueled by learning. We are learners all the time. The state of North Carolina is working under some very false information, and they've been doing it now for 2 decades. What they say is once someone has been teaching for 10 years, they no longer learn. They no longer grow. That is hogwash. We continue to grow, and that's better for everyone around us. You learn, and you grow, and you get better every single day. The company that I work for makes filters. And I have a filter here, so I'm going to take you through the process. So we start with a normal sofa cushion, right? So you've got foam from a sofa cushion. And what they do is they send it through this thing that looks like the Krispy Kreme belt, and they send ceramics into it. And so it becomes impregnated. My middle school brain always laughs a little bit about that word. It becomes impregnated with ceramics. Then they send them through a kiln, and they send them, and they cut them, and they do what they need to with them. And this filter right here, that filter, filters every single can you have ever drunk from in the United States. It filters every car you have ever used. It filters every John Deere tractor you've ever had. It filters space programs, jet turbines. It filters multiple things in Hendersonville, North Carolina. If that tiny little plant where I'm the training manager shuts down, we can't drink Mountain Dew out of a can. We can't have a space program. Now, let me just say something. You want to prove to the state of North Carolina that you love to learn? You're probably going to leave here and tell somebody about a filter later on. And it's just a filter. Because we love to learn new things. And that's what I'm getting to do in my job, is I am learning new things. And you've taught me how to learn better. Thank you for that. We crave it. And I'm going to tell you about a third situation, or a third thing that you've taught me, and that is how to scan a situation. You see, 30 years ago, I didn't always know how to scan constantly, but I learned. And I'm going to tell you that the first time I was Teacher of the Year for Haywood County, we still used VCRs. And so people still had to tape if you were going to be on the news. So I looked at a colleague and said, I'm going to be on the news tonight, but I was coaching volleyball, and I'm not going to be home, so I'm not going to be able to videotape me on the news. Will you please videotape this? And my colleague did. And we met for lunch, and she said, have you seen it yet? And in my head, all I could think about was, I know, WLOS sent me the tiniest human to interview me, so I look like Shrek standing beside him. And that was fully in my head, was how much I was going to look like Shrek. And oh my goodness, and she laughed and she said, no, Sally, that's not it. And I said, what in the world? Oh no, I'm not going to tell you. Just go home and watch it. And so I went home and I watched it. Well, you see, they had interviewed me in the guidance counselor's office. And scanning a situation, as we all know now, is so important, but Sally Hunley forgot. And at that point, my hair was very spiky. I had very spiky hair. And on the wall behind me was a poster that told us not to do drugs. But all of it was covered by my Shrek self, except for the one word over my head. The leaves came out of my spiky hair. And on WLOS, it says, Sally Hunley, Regional Teacher of the Year. In the picture, it says, pothead. So thank you for making me better. It is such an honor to be here. You make a difference every single day. And in those moments when you wonder because something is tough or it doesn't go well, children depend on you. But I also want you to know your colleagues learn from you. Thank you for teaching me right and sending me out and letting me brag on you. You guys are the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Sally. That was great. Inspirational as always. I get the honor of introducing our Principal of the Year this year. Our Principal of the Year is Mr. Casey Crook. I want to go through some of the things that have been provided to me about him. I got to grab my glass. Old age, you got to be tough to get old. From Clint Connor, congratulations on being named Principal of the Year. Your dedication, leadership, and unwavering commitment to relationships have not only made you an exemplary principal, but also an incredible friend. This well-deserved recognition is a testament to your passion, your shaping young minds, and positively impacting the Canton community. Here's to your continued success and the countless lives you'll continue to inspire. And then he's got something, hashtag pickleball champ, hashtag always on time, hashtag chapter 1, and hashtag taught you how to fish. I'll let you two sort that out. Additionally, comments from Amanda Baldwin. Working with Crook, as many of us know him, working with Crook has been a very grateful experience. He is full of knowledge. He is always willing to help in any way and makes you feel like you come first in his busy schedule. From Casey Connard, who couldn't be with us today, working with Crook was a blast. I enjoyed learning together at Pisgah and the friendship we still have. He's a great leader and teammate. My years working with Crook were some of the best in my career. And from Carly Wells, Crook is one of the smartest people I know. Should we really share that? He challenged me to think deeper, to read more, over many lunch conversations about the latest educational article he read or the newest book he had picked up. Another thing about him is that he truly takes an interest in every person he is around. He listens, he encourages, and he coaches you. He was never my coach, as he was to so many young people, but he ended up being my coach just like any coach does, leading you to see your potential and helping you achieve that. I will add that Casey Crook has been the principal at Canton Middle 3 years. One of those years, we did not do growth. They didn't measure growth in his very first year. That was back in COVID, and they didn't feel like the results would be accurate. Since then, he has exceeded growth every year while he's been there. So just a tremendous leader. He's impacted a lot. Miss Barker's crying, and she can't even. Come on up. You've got lots of words. Without further ado, our Principal of the Year, Casey Crook.
Ira, I'm not sure if I'm working here. I've got a little thing here. I didn't know that was going to happen. I appreciate the kind words that I wish you'd have done that afterwards, Dr. Putnam. That would have been better. It means a lot, and part of what I wanted to talk about today was that we're all part of a community, and we're all part of each other's story. So I wanted to start with, my mom told me that if I put a picture up of my family, people would trust me more. Except that was not my mom, that was Clint Connor in a speech a few years ago. And I wanted to do that because in a speech that he gave, not this one, a different one, he took something that I had said a lot, and he said that his mom said it in this speech. And when I asked him about it, I said, dude, why did you say your mom said that? You know that was me. And he said, well, it just sounds a lot better if my mom said it than if you did. I wanted to take a minute to recognize, and I can't recognize all the folks that have influenced my career, but there have been many people that are part of my story. I don't want to talk about the people that just spoke again because, gosh, I'm going to start crying. And I know Jill wanted to say something. I told the principals yesterday, the quote of the century Jill Barker said to me was, "Casey, sometimes I have to get my words out." And that is such a true statement of you. But I've been influenced by many leaders, many teachers, many educators, and I wanted to talk about a couple of them. When I first got to Haywood County Schools, Dr. Garrett, Dr. Bill took me in. They showed me this is a very different place, that Haywood County was a community. It was a place where our school board members celebrate with us, and they come to football games, and they talk to us. They showed us that it's okay to stand at a fence at a football game and watch a ball game. That meant a lot to me. I've enjoyed being with Dr. Putnam and being under his leadership, and I will say that you've come in a tough time, and you've done amazingly in guiding us, being positive in that leadership, giving us direction and clarity, and I appreciate that about you. And sandcastles. We've learned about sandcastles this year. I worked with five principals at Pisgah High School. Mr. Miller taught me that a standard of excellence was expected and that you should never deviate from that, and I have never forgotten that. I've also never missed a faculty meeting, whether I'm hosting them or not, because that was important, very important to him. Miss Beaker, I learned that there was power behind a smile. With Mr. Bailey, I learned that professionalism and family don't have to be separated, that both of those pieces are really important in that. Miss Barker drugged me out of PE where I did not want to come out of, and I could have been playing kickball right now if it weren't for you. But she said many things that are burned into my brain that I can't talk about in public. But she said something to me one time. She was working with a student, and it was a very difficult student who honestly was a little bit hateful towards her. And when I asked her why she had the patience with him that she did, she said, you can't ever give up on a kid. And I can't get that out of my mind, ever. And that's a heavy weight to carry sometimes, but I think as educators and as principals, as administrators, as central office, as board members, as community members, we have to remember that we can never give up on a kid, because if we do, that might be it. We might be the last one in line. Clint taught me how to be authentic as a leader. He taught me how to be who you are. The dude wears dress pants during any activity that he has because that's just who he is. He'll fish in them, he'll wear them to school. But he taught me the importance of camaraderie in leadership, in supporting one another, and being who you are and making decisions because they're the right decisions. Not because they're the most popular ones, but because that's what should be done. I think I'm supposed to flip here. I brought my wife with me. I told her I was going to try to talk about her. I don't know what's going on. Oh, there we are. I brought my wife with me. I told her I was going to talk about her today. One time when I was on chemo, she told me I was a pansy. And she loves when I tell this story in public. I had been told some pretty nasty things. I'd been told for several months that I had a huge tumor and it had probably spread to my liver and my kidneys, and it couldn't be operated on, and they didn't know how to treat it, but they needed to treat it or it was going to kill me. So I was not handling that information well. We had a new family, and they meant a whole lot to me. Is that Jenny with my buzzer? Oh, sorry. I thought Jenny was going to stand in the back of the room like that. I was not doing well with that information. I was dug into a hole with that. And she came into the bedroom one night, and I was laying there, and she said, "I need you to quit being a pansy." And I went, What? And she said, "This is not how you battle things. This is not how you walk through this. This is not what I expect of you. And this is not what you want your kids to see. This is not who you are." And we play this fun game where sometimes she says things and I pretend like she's not right because I don't want her to think I'm wrong all the time, but it absolutely snapped me out of my funk. And I think as I look back at those times, I was proud of just being able to walk through that. But she was able to say that to me because she loved me so much and she knew me so well. And I cannot imagine the courage it took to say that, because I was hurting and she pulled me through. I want to share a lesson with you that I learned on my own. I'll finish up here, but my family and I took a trip to Alaska after I'd been sick, and the summer after I got off chemo. We shared some times. It was my wife and my boys and I and my mom, and we had a great week in Alaska. And at the end of the week, Jennifer and the boys flew back home, and Ira, I have no idea what's going on now. It's just got a mind of its own. If somebody could flip to the video, that'd be great. Don't play it yet. But my mom and I won a lottery to go watch these brown bears, these coastal brown bears in Alaska, just mash salmon. It was incredible. For 5 days, we tent camped. We had a cook cabin. That was the only building on site because you wanted to keep the food in there so the bears didn't eat it, you or the food that was with you in your tent. But if you wouldn't mind to play that video, this is part of the experience here. So I was in this amazing place, and I was watching, and on the last day, our permits ran out, and the group went out. Could you flip to the next one, please? The group went out. One more. There you go. So this is me talking to the group, and the group went out. They still had their permits. We were waiting on our seaplane to come back, and I wanted to catch a fish in Alaska. That was a bucket list item for me, and at the time, my bucket looked pretty full at the time. So I wanted to catch a fish in Alaska. And the group went out, and I was getting ready to go, and I was standing at that window right there, and I was looking outside, drinking a cup of coffee, and the rain was Forrest Gump blowing sideways, and it was about 43 degrees, and it sucked outside, and I did not want to go. And all I had thought about all this time was, I don't want to go out there right now. And then I started remembering the things that I had been through in the recent months, the people that had pushed me through that, the people that had encouraged me to step forward. I had remembered all of those things, and I was standing there still debating, and I looked up, and you can barely see it, but up in the right corner of that window, there's a little plaque, a little thing about this big, and it says, "Bad weather always looks worse through a window." And I went like this, okay. And I went outside, and as soon as I took 2 steps outside, I said, it's not that bad out here. This is pretty good. And I went out in the middle of nowhere, and I fished for salmon in Alaska. There were 3 brown bears taking a nap in the water within a couple hundred yards of me. I was the king of the world. And I've had some amazing days in my life, some amazing team days. I've had some amazing days with my family and getting married and watching our boys grow up. With my friends, I've had some amazing days at work, but as far as an individual, Casey Crook versus the world, that was my day. That was my best day of my life. And as I reflect on that moment, I think about that quote a lot. Bad weather always looks worse through a window. I don't want you to miss this. I'm a 2-time cancer survivor, and I almost missed the best day of my life because it was raining outside. And I think about how silly I was in that moment to just not walk out that door. Once I did, then I was able to have the best day of my life. And I think about our county. We've had some rainy days. Figuratively, literally, we've had some rainy days. But I think what's beautiful about our county and is amazing about it is we keep walking out that door and we keep going, well, this ain't that bad. We'll see what's next. I was fortunate enough a couple weeks ago to watch some amazing teachers do some incredible things. And I watched you with your classes as they were engaged, as they were supported, as they were pushed, as they were challenged. I watched you do these things with them, and I was blown away at how amazing our schools are, every one of them. Our committee was blown away to watch what you did. And as I heard your interviews, I heard a common message over and over again. I didn't hear anything at all about budgets. I didn't hear anything at all about class sizes. I heard nothing about hardship. What I heard from you over and over again was a message of positivity and support and caring. And I heard over and over again, students, 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 students. And I want to commend you because I was moved by that moment. We all have a story to tell, and we all get to be part of each other's stories, and you were a part of mine because I got to share in that with you. How lucky our students are to be supported by you, to be pushed by you, to be loved by you. How lucky our county is that you continuously, day in and day out, not only step out into the rain, but you've learned to dance in it, and that's amazing to me. So congratulations to all of you. Thank you so much for allowing me the opportunity to speak. Thank you for my peers. At least one of you voted for me for Principal of the Year, so I appreciate that. And thank you to W.C. Godfrey. If I would have known he was here, I would have just written the whole speech about him. But thank you so much for your time.
Yes. Congratulations, Casey. Now we will have our Teacher of the Year video recognition. Mr. Francis, Dr. Putnam, Ms. Barker, Mr. Haynes will come up here, we will recognize our Teachers of the Year. From Bethel Bethel Elementary School, Lorena Gamez. You come up. Come up here. And then we'll take a picture. Congratulations. Bethel Middle School, Jennifer Mabry. Congratulations. From Canton Middle School, Jennifer Williamson, who was unable to be here today. Central Haywood High School, Tyler Stevenson. Congratulations, Tyler. From Clyde Elementary School, Sherry Justice. From Haywood Early College, Caroline Bethea Brown. Congratulations. From Hazelwood Elementary School, Heather Hyatt. From Jonathan Valley Elementary School, Amy Crawford. Junaluska Elementary, Taylor Willoughby. Congratulations, Taylor. Meadowbrook Elementary, Amanda Williams. Yay. North Canton Elementary, Emma Mann. Pisgah High School, W.C. Godfrey. Thank you. Riverbend Elementary, Christy Lusk. Tuscola High School, Heather Phillips. Waynesville Middle School, Heather Smith. So at this time, we're going to recognize our runners up, and we do that at each level. So we have an elementary, middle, and a high school winner. This year, our runners up are from the elementary level, Sherry Justice. Yes, you needed to come back. Congratulations. And our runner-up at the high school level, Caroline Bethea Brown. Congratulations. You ready to go now?
So I get the privilege of announcing the Teacher of the Year for Haywood County Schools for the 23-24 school year. In this room, that's quite an accomplishment because there are some really, really, really good teachers in here. And not just in here, but in all of our school buildings. And to think about that one person rises to be picked or the one named is pretty incredible because this is a great school system made up of great human beings and teachers. This year's 23-24 Teacher of the Year, I wanted to read a few things that I have learned about her. When asked about her philosophy as a teacher, she answered, "When am I ever going to use this in my life? This is the question that stops me in my tracks and cuts deep when you're in front of all those students, teaching your heart out. This is the question that challenges me as a teacher. This question is the reason why I teach the way I do. In the 8th grade math curriculum, we spend a lot of time learning about linear functions. Students constantly hear things like slope and y-intercept. These vocabulary words are essential for understanding the topic we are learning within the classroom, but students are not going to hear slope or y-intercept working at our local Ingles or Chick-fil-A. Students need examples that allow them to make connections so that they stay interested and engaged. When asked about school culture, being a Division I student athlete in college, I learned that it is essential for your team to buy in to the culture, to ensure that everyone is working together for a common goal. Athletic teams are a lot like schools. The common goal is to be competitive in a way that doesn't bring others down, win each day for our students, drive each other to success, motivate each other to be the best versions of ourselves, and create a lasting culture that will ultimately be inclusive to future teachers. This teacher also is a sponsor for the FCA. They provide breakfast for students. They write Christmas cards. They wrap blankets and take them to nursing homes. They work with Chick-fil-A to organize staff luncheons. They foster empathy for others, treat bags, instill the importance of being kind. And they also, this teacher also organized a trip to HCC to create a field day or a career day, and then pancakes with parents. So it's without further ado, I present to you Haywood County Schools 23-24 Teacher of the Year, Ms. Heather Smith.
This is very unexpected. I did not plan anything, and when I don't plan things, I ramble, and I often get very emotional, and when my kids are here, that makes it even better. I do want to say that first and foremost, I want to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, because my favorite song in the whole world is by Francesca Battistelli, and she says, "I don't need my name in lights. I'm famous in my Father's eyes. Make no mistake, He knows my name. I'm not living for applause. I'm already so adored. It's all His stage." So as I'm standing on His stage today, I want to start by glorifying Him, because that's honestly, He's given me the wonderful spiritual gift of teaching, and I'm very thankful for that. I want to thank my husband, who may not think it's as much of a blessing as it is to me, but we get to teach at the same school. And so he motivates me every day to be the best that I can. And I said, I'm not from here, I'm from Virginia, and I say can instead of can, so he motivates me to be the best I can. He is the rock to our family. We have the privilege of teaching in the same subject area, so he brings out my competitive side when we're looking at test scores and things like that. So I thank you, Ethan, for being here today and being very supportive of me, and I love you for that. I want to thank the administration that I've been able to have throughout my years. Clint Connor gave me my first job ever at Clyde Elementary right out of college, and he, during my interview process, he made me go into the classroom and teach, and so he really threw me in there and gave me that competitive nature that I know he still instills in his teachers today. I've had many administration along the way, and Graham and other administrators that have entrusted in me the students that are in front of me and given me the ability to teach them and do it the way that they know I can. And to all the teachers that are in here, I share this honor with you because we go through this every day together. And I'm just one representation of who we are as a county. And I'm very thankful that I get to learn from each of you every single day. I may not know you personally, but I do know that you're here for a reason. Obviously, your own faculty and staff seeing you, what they saw in me. And so I thank you for being here and pushing and motivating each one of us each day. And I hope to take this role and be an advocate for you and stand up for what we need for our schools and what we need for our students. And I'm just still kind of in awe and shock, so I appreciate it. And I thank you for this honor, and I hope to represent Haywood County very well. Thank you.
While we back a truck up to pick up all these flowers, I will make a few announcements. So you've heard the successes of all of our teachers, and this is the best of the best of the best. And with that said, it's with great pleasure that I announce we'll be releasing this to the media. We're number 7 in the state again. 7th best of 115 schools. So 115 school districts. And you heard Mr. Crook and you heard Ms. Smith. All of them have a deep connection with the people they work with. And that deep connection is what makes us a special school system. So being number 7, that's a flag, a beacon, whatever you want to call it, to that commitment to one another and commitment to kids. It's more than a number. It's more than a rank. It's about the relationships built and the pursuit of excellence with our kids. I'll also tell you that we also have the, and this is the first, right, Ms. Barker? She just lets me do the talking. She's the brainchild over here, as are many in this room. I'm the least impactful in this process, but we have the #1 traditional high school in all of the western region, and that is Pisgah High School. We have, there's more to come. We also have the #1 early college in the region. That is Haywood Early College. It keeps going. We also have the #1 middle school in the region of 14 counties, and that is Bethel Middle School. And we have the #1 elementary school in the western region, and that is Riverbend Elementary. I point that out to acknowledge all of you. My job's to stay out of your way because I mess things up. So great job, all of you. We appreciate the hard work, the dedication to kids, the dedication to one another, and what you put into this each and every day. I know it gets thankless. I know it feels hard at times. I know we've had 1,000,001 things thrown at us. But if I could sum everybody up in this room, they're resilient. The resiliency And I couldn't do it in one word. I'd have to say the compassion that you have for the people around you. So thank you. It is truly an honor to be a part of this Teacher of the Year banquet. And I'll turn it back over to Jenny at this time. Here comes Miss Barker. She's got to get her words out.
First of all, I remember, Heather, when Clint hired you, he called and he said, "I got a rock star. You don't understand." He was so proud. So congratulations to you. And I didn't think it was right that Crook called Clint out on not telling the truth, because he begged to be an assistant principal. He begged for that job. And he loved it. And so part of Crook is you've got to know he's really competitive too, but his wife is the state champion. I love to remind him of that when he was coaching basketball, and she's also the All-Star East-West MVP, and Crook coached basketball. So sometimes Crook knows a lot, and so you have to humble him. And so I hate Casey's not here today, Casey Connor, but Byron is. But a lot of times after a basketball game, if we lost, I was like, "Oh, just wait." And he would come in the morning in a foul mood, and Byron would "Don't say anything, Jill." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I'm saying it." Like, "Why'd we lose? There's 5 minutes left. You called 2 timeouts. You let that coach." And Casey would be like, "Please don't say it." And I'm like, "No, we're going to keep him humble, keep him going." So, Jennifer, I love it. Don't be a pansy. And congratulations to you. You deserve every honor coming your way, too. And for everyone in the room, y'all amaze me every day. Every one of you in this room today, it's a calling. And I hope that when you're like me and you got 29 years in, you love it every day. I still love it. It's still joyful, and I see that in your eyes. And so never lose that. And thank you for all you do for our kids. So, yeah, thank you.
Graham has lost his voice, or he would certainly be up here talking. Again, we want to say congratulations. We want to take a group picture, so as you're leaving, if the Teachers of the Year will just meet down at the bottom of the steps for a group picture, we would appreciate it. Thank you all for coming today. Have a great year, and call any of us if you need us, and thank you again.